a woman named Sophia, seemingly ordinary, faced mistreatment and was nearly expelled from an upscale cafe in the luxurious Coconut Grove area of Miami, all while no one recognized her as the billionaire owner of the entire building complex. The venue, La Dolce Vita, exuded elegance with its polished marble and velvet seating, a location where the aroma of espresso mingled with the scent of wealth. Sophia entered, clad in a simple white t-shirt and worn sandals, her dark hair gathered casually into a loose ponytail. She possessed an enchanting beauty with almond-shaped eyes and a gentle radiance to her skin, yet the staff remained oblivious to it. To them, she was merely an outsider who had stumbled into their elite realm, an incongruity amidst the designer bags and tailored blazers surrounding her. Unbeknownst to them, she possessed the very keys that could unlock the entirety of their operation. Sophia had no intention of making a statement. Having wrapped up a serene morning inspecting her properties, her vast collection of luxurious real estate spanning South Florida, she craved a coffee before making her way home. She had the opportunity to purchase the cafe in full. She could have easily purchased the entire block. Yet she chose not to show it off. Her fortune was the result of years of strategic decisions, enhancing her family's legacy until she emerged as one of Miami's wealthiest figures. She preferred a subtle approach, avoiding ostentatious accessories and large groups, just herself and her reflections. As soon as she approached the counter, the chaos began. The barista, a fellow named Derek sporting a slicked-back hairstyle and a knowing grin, assessed her from head to toe before releasing a pronounced scoff. "There's a Starbucks just across the street. That location aligns more closely with your budget," he remarked, his voice cutting through the background noise of the espresso machine. Sophia blinked, momentarily surprised yet maintained her composure. "I would like a latte, please," she said, her tone steady. Derek let out a dismissive snort, folding his arms across his chest. "Absolutely, if you have the funds available. This is not a charitable endeavor. Our items are priced at $10 each." A handful of patrons nearby laughed softly, casting sidelong glances at her as if she were the punchline of a joke. Sophia felt a flush rise to her cheeks, yet she gave a nod. "That works for me." Derek had more to say. He bent slightly at the counter's edge, his gaze fixed on her sandals. "Excuse me? Did you gather that from a tip jar? Please refrain from engaging if you are unable to fulfill the payment." Before she could reply, a waitress named Vanessa glided in, her heels tapping rhythmically, her artificial smile cutting through the air. "Darling, let's not block the flow," she declared, her voice carrying across the entire venue. "This isn't charity," she remarked. "Check out the food truck just around the corner." The mirth rippled through the crowd, drawing curious glances and sparkling eyes filled with delight. Sophia maintained her composure, retrieving a 20 from her pocket. "I'm just here for a coffee," she murmured softly. Vanessa grabbed the bill, lifting it as if it were something unclean. "Oh, quite the extravagant one, aren't we? Don't anticipate improvement, it has deteriorated." A manager named Rick, a stocky figure adorned with a gold chain and a constant scowl, approached with a confident gait, attracted by the noise. "What's causing the delay?" he growled, fixing a fierce gaze on Sophia. Derek flashed a grin, casually gesturing in her direction with a thumb. "This one believes she can pay for our services. Observe her as if she just stepped out of a vintage shop." Rick's laugh pierced the conversation, sharp and jarring. "Madam, we uphold certain standards. Your energy is dampening the atmosphere. Grab your latte and head out." Sophia's heart raced, yet she remained composed. "I'll take it to go," she said, her voice unwavering despite the sharpness of the moment. Rick gestured with a wave of his hand. "Absolutely, and please refrain from returning in that attire. We serve sophistication." The barrage of insults continued unabated. A patron clad in a linen suit, Kyle, leaned in from his table, a smirk playing on his lips. "Hey there, are you a bit turned around? The dollar menu is absent." His companion, a woman named Lauren wearing oversized sunglasses, let out a hearty laugh. "Honestly, who allowed her to come in? She's disrupting the harmony of my Instagram feed." More snickers echoed through the cafe, a symphony of mockery that crashed over Sophia like a relentless tide. She remained poised, patiently awaiting her drink, her expression a study in tranquility. She had the ability to silence them all in that moment, to reveal her identity and showcase her strength, but that simply wasn't her approach. All she craved was her coffee and a moment of tranquility. Derek went beyond mere mockery towards her. He moved around the counter, seized her arm, and forcefully pushed her toward the door. "Are you unable to hear? Leave now." He snapped, his voice like a fierce growl. As Sophia faltered without resistance, he let out a derisive laugh. "What, lacking the funds to debate?" In an instant, he struck her across the face, the sound cutting through the buzz of the cafe. That's for wasting my time, he remarked, a smirk playing on his lips as Vanessa applauded as if it were some grand performance. Sophia's cheek burned with a fierce redness, yet she held back tears, remaining poised, her quiet strength piercing through the air more profoundly than any spoken phrase. Derek ultimately glided the latte over the counter, but only after putting on quite the performance. "Here's your fancy drink, princess," he declared, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Be careful not to get anything on that shirt of yours." Vanessa found herself unfulfilled by mere words. She seized Sophia's latte from the counter before it could even be claimed, brandishing it like a prized possession. "You don't deserve this," she said, her eyes sparkling with a wicked gleam. In that moment, she tilted the cup, sending a cascade of steaming coffee splattering onto Sophia's chest. The liquid drenched her t-shirt, searing her skin, and Vanessa chuckled, "Oops, looks like you're in quite the predicament now, suits you just right." Kyle gazed longingly from his table, admiring her. She was exuding a raw allure, reminiscent of a streetwise charm. The cafe was in chaos, patrons gesturing wildly while Sophia remained frozen, soaked and seething, her sense of self-worth under siege. Still, she remained composed, simply wiping her face and holding her silence. Vanessa seized Sophia's arm, guiding her firmly toward the exit. "Out you go, let's maintain the order here," she said, pushing her ahead. Rick charged into the scene, his expression fierce, and acted without delay. He seized Sophia by the shoulders and whirled her around, forcefully propelling her toward the exit. "You're out of here, trash," he shouted, his gold chain swinging as he shoved her into a table, sending a chair crashing to the floor. Customers erupted in cheers, with Lauren shouting, "Kick her out already," while Rick remained unfazed. As Sophia attempted to regain her balance, he snapped, "Hurry up or I'll pull you along." Her sandal snagged on the floor, twisting her ankle, yet she remained silent, limping ahead with a poise that sharply contrasted their hostility. Rick shouted after her, "Next time, stay in your lane." As Sophia approached the door, the anguish persisted unabated. Kyle rose to his feet, strutting over with his phone in hand, capturing her as if she were a spectacle in a sideshow. "Grin for the lens, budget doll," he mocked, focusing closely on her drenched top and flushed face. "This is trending, an unexpected incident at an upscale cafe." Lauren leaped into action, flinging a napkin at Sophia's face. "Clean yourself up, you look unkempt." It struck her directly in the eye and the room erupted with laughter, a wave of derision that trailed her as she exited. Sophia dismissed it, her hands quivering just a bit, yet she didn't look back, she simply walked into the sunlight, leaving their taunts in her wake. The door closed firmly behind her, the echoes of laughter lingering in her mind. Sophia lingered on the sidewalk, the Miami sun pouring down, her latte cradled warmly in her hand. Frustration brewed within her, yet she maintained her composure. She despised public displays, loathed the idea of being scrutinized for something as trivial as her attire. This was more than just her, it was about the audacity of those who believed they could trample anyone who dared to be different. With a deep breath, she placed the cup on a nearby bench and retrieved her phone. Maria, her assistant, answered on the first ring. "Hello, Soph. How are you doing?" Sophia's voice carried a serene quality, yet it held a sharp undertone. "Maria, I find myself at La Dolce Vita in the Grove. They simply cast me aside, declaring I have no place here. I've had enough of them." Maria's tone changed, incisive and poised. "Are you for real? What would you like to pursue?" Sophia cast a fleeting look at the cafe's polished exterior. "Terminate the lease, finalize it today." Maria acted without a moment's pause. "I will reach out to legal and send an email to property management. They have departed." Sophia ended the call, her heartbeat calming. She wasn't angry on her own behalf. She was furious with everyone they had ever mistreated. The cafe hummed with life, completely unaware. Derek was cleaning the counter, sharing witty remarks with Vanessa about the budget chick. Rick was mingling with Kyle and Lauren, serving them complimentary refills, exuding an air of confidence and invincibility. The phone rang in the back office, but it went unnoticed. The owner, a lean fellow named Tony, who seldom made an appearance, picked up, his expression draining of color as Maria's voice echoed on the line. "This is Maria Diaz, speaking on behalf of Sofia Alvarez. You have until 5 p.m. to leave La Dolce Vita. Your lease has been terminated, effective immediately." Tony stuttered, "What? What is the reason?" Maria's response was frosty. "You've crossed paths with someone you shouldn't have. Please take a moment to review your email. The notice is being sent by legal at this moment." Tony rushed out of his office, perspiration glistening on his forehead, brandishing his phone excitedly. "Everyone, please be quiet. We have an issue to address." Derek scowled, flinging his rag aside. "What's going on?" Tony's voice trembled. "We have vacated, and the lease has been terminated. A prominent figure by the name of Sofia Alvarez claims that our time together has come to an end." Vanessa chuckled, a hint of anxiety in her voice. "Who is that? Is this a prank call?" Tony sighed, his fingers gliding over the screen as he scrolled through the content. "No, you fools, she owns the entire building. The entire complex, every store, every office. We're in deep trouble." The atmosphere became still, the sound of cups coming to an abrupt halt. Derek's smirk disappeared. "Hold on, are you referring to that girl?" The revelation struck with the force of a freight train. Sofia Alvarez was far from ordinary. She was a billionaire, a real estate mogul who had transformed Miami's skyline into her personal canvas. 5 years prior, she acquired the Grove complex in a discreet maneuver that significantly increased her wealth, managing it with an iron fist from the shadows. No one in the cafe had noticed her, not with that t-shirt and those sandals. Rick's gold chain abruptly appeared less valuable. "Absolutely not," he whispered, his confidence shattered. "She can't just—" Tony interrupted, forcefully placing the email printout on the counter. "She is capable, and she proved it. We're out today, and a wave of panic has washed over me." Derek rushed to the window, his gaze fixed on Sofia, who remained outside, leisurely sipping her latte, exuding an air of tranquility. "Is that her?" he rasped. Vanessa's heels teetered precariously as she stepped back. "This is a disaster," Tony shouted. "Start packing. Everything. She's serious." Customers such as Kyle and Lauren stared in disbelief, their arrogance fading away. "Hold on, she actually owns this place?" Kyle spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. Lauren ripped off her sunglasses, filled with shock. "Did we really just go after the landlord?" Sofia stood outside, her phone vibrating with a flurry of notifications. Maria sent a message. "The legal documents have been submitted. The lease is null and void, and they're in a state of panic." Sofia remained expressionless. A smile was unnecessary. She had offered them an opportunity to show their true character, and they had squandered it. She sent another email to her property manager. "No extensions, no appeals. La Dolce Vita has reached its conclusion. It's time to replace it with something superior." She completed her coffee, discarded the cup into a bin, and strolled away, the sunlight shimmering on her hair like a subtle crown. Within those walls, turmoil prevailed. Derek hurriedly stuffed coffee bags into boxes, his hands trembling with urgency. "I didn't mean it," she interrupted, her voice laced with urgency. She didn't look like, "Be quiet and start packing. We're out of work." Rick attempted to reach Tony, pleading and insisting it was all a misunderstanding. Yet Tony merely shook his head in response. "Overcome. It's too late, my friend. She's got us in a tight grip." The team rushed about, dismantling decorations, stacking chairs, their small realm collapsing around them. Patrons hurried away, murmuring about the lady who possesses it all, abandoning their half-filled cups. At 5 p.m., the eviction crew showed up, men in polo shirts clutching clipboards, accompanied by Sofia's legal team. Tony relinquished the keys, his expression ashen. "We're out," he whispered. Derek attempted to plead. "Listen, please let her know that I apologize." The main character remained unfazed. "She is indifferent. Your time has passed." Vanessa wept, struggling to lift her purse onto her shoulder, her heels offering no support in her moment of despair. Rick stood there, gazing into the void, his gold chain swaying like a noose. They had underestimated the wrong woman, and with that, their jobs, their cafe, their entire existence crumbled away. The following day, a sign was posted, "Available space for lease, seeking new tenants." Hours later, as the eviction crew removed La Dolce Vita's final espresso machine, Derek and Vanessa located Sofia outside her office a block away, urgency evident in their eyes. "Kindly, Ms. Alvarez," Derek pleaded, his voice trembling. I wasn't aware. I've got rent to pay and a child to care for. We ask for another opportunity. Vanessa nodded, her mascara running down her cheeks in a cascade of emotion. We apologize, all right? We are willing to go to any lengths. Please, let's not conclude our story in this manner. Sophia regarded them with a serene yet resolute expression, the faint red mark lingering on her cheek. You had your chance, she stated, her tone as unyielding as iron. You decided to strike me, drench me, and cast me aside. Embrace it. She averted her gaze, abandoning them to their desperate calls, the remnants of their hopes fading into the distance. The news traveled quickly. Sofia Alvarez dismissed La Dolce Vita with a casual flick of her wrist. Derek submitted his application to the Starbucks across the street, but they rejected him as well, his reputation already tarnished. Rick seized his chance as he approached Sophia the following morning, her focus on tenant bids, his gold chain lackluster against his perspiration-soaked shirt. Please, Sophia, I made a mistake. I will humbly beg for your forgiveness, whatever it takes. He implored, his voice raspy. I feel completely empty. Please don't ruin my entire existence because of this. Sophia locked eyes with him, her beauty a striking contrast to his anxiety, and gently shook her head. You shoved me against a table and called me worthless. That is your legacy now, she stated, her tone resolute. She dismissed him with a wave, and security pulled him away, his pleas diminishing as the door banged shut, a striking reflection of his earlier behavior towards her. This time, it was he who found himself pleading. Vanessa's resume received no responses. Her demeanor trailed behind her like an ever-present shadow. Rick attempted to launch a food truck, yet the permits inexplicably lagged, with rumors suggesting Sophia's shadowy hand was keeping him at bay. Tony parted with his car to settle debts, the cafe's downfall a mark he couldn't erase, while Sophia moved on without a glance back. She settled into her office a block away, perusing new tenant proposals, her t-shirt exchanged for another identical one. She didn't seek vengeance. She had merely balanced the scales. The Grove complex thrummed with an undeniable quiet strength, leaving those who had once mocked her with nothing but the reverberation of their own dismissive remarks. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing for more captivating narratives.